Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a haul update. I'm going to kind of do a roundup on all of the newer products that I've added to my collection. I think I did a Sephora haul and an Ulta haul, and then I just picked up a couple of things, and I also have a couple of PR products as well. But after I try products out or share them in a haul video, I always like to come back and update you and let you know which products worked for me, which ones didn't. So I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, a lot of mascaras. Let's kick it off with mascaras, and then I'll do eyeshadow palettes. So I did pick up this Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Mascara, and I did pick up a mini. This one is in the shade Miss Merlot. So they released a green one and a red one, and then they do have a full-sized version of this formula, which I hadn't tried. I was excited to try something different because I don't wear colorful mascara very often. In fact, I can't remember the last time that I wore it. It was probably junior high when I was reaching for like the Maybelline Great Lash in blue. I feel like when a lot of brands do colorful mascara, it's always very bright colors, things that I wouldn't typically reach for. So I liked the idea of this like berry toned one because I thought it would be, colorful without being too overly dramatic. Now, first of all, the red shade just doesn't show up on my lashes at all. When I apply it, it looks like a very, very dark brown, almost like a light black. Like there's almost no hint of red when I wear this product, which I feel like kind of defeats the purpose of applying a colorful mascara. Like I wanted it to show, and it didn't have to be super intense, but you really can't tell that I'm wearing any sort of colorful mascara when I actually apply it to the eyes. I do have very dark hair. My eyelashes are dark, so I think if you have maybe blonde hair or blonde eyelashes, this might show up a little bit better on you. But even if that works, the actual formula of this product just isn't for me. It's definitely more of a dry mascara, and I've told you guys over and over, I love really intense wet mascaras because you're able to build them up to be really dramatic. This one looks pretty natural on the lashes. So, I mean, I think I paid like $13 for this. I'm glad that it came in a mini and I didn't actually buy a full-sized version because I would have been really disappointed. I mean, I'm pretty disappointed as it is, but just knowing that I didn't spend as much helps a little bit. But I mean, $13 is still $13, and I just didn't find that this product worked very well. The color or the formula, they're just both not for me. So I did get a sample of the Urban Decay Lash Freak when I placed an order on Ulta's website. I think they had like a promo where if you bought anything from Urban Decay, you would get this product, and I did repurchase the All-Nighter Powder, which is one of my favorites, but I wasn't originally planning on buying this. I did a purchaser pass, and I said that the wand was a little bit weird, and the promo photos did not make this mascara look appealing at all. A lot of the models had like very clumpy lashes, they were very spidery looking, and it didn't sell me on the mascara, I'll be honest. But because it was available like in a sample size, I decided to try it out. And I will say that I really like how this makes my lashes look. Now the wand is very weird. There's a little bit of a learning curve to it. The first few times I tried it, I felt like it was just confusing. Only one side of the brush has bristles, and then the top of the brush has bristles as well. But once you get the hang of it, it makes your lashes look very long and very dramatic. You can definitely build this one up to be really intense on the eyes, which I love. The more dramatic, the better when it comes to mascara. I will say that it's definitely not waterproof at all. I've been dealing with extremely watery eyes due to seasonal allergies, and this one will definitely smudge on me, and it will kind of flake and get like on my contacts. That won't happen if my eyes aren't watering, but once my eyes start watering, it's just a complete mess because the mascara will smear and smudge, and then my eyes will water more. So if you're looking for a waterproof mascara, definitely stay away from this one. But on days where my eyes aren't watery, which isn't super often these days, I like how it makes my lashes look because they look so long. It's very easy to work with, but I will say it's a very messy mascara. I tend to make a mess every single time I apply my mascara, but even more so with this product because the wand is just shaped in such a strange way. The bristles are very, very short, so inevitably I hit my eyelid, I get it all over the place, and if I'm wearing eyeshadow, it will just mess everything up. So as much as I like the way my lashes look when I use this product, I feel like it's just too high maintenance for me. I don't want a mascara that I'm going to have to, take the time to apply extremely carefully, or one that might smudge on me, might run on me. I wish that it was a waterproof formula, and that's not something I usually buy, but because I've been dealing with watery eyes, I feel like it's become more important to me. So as much as I enjoy this, I won't be purchasing the full-size version. It's just a little bit too high maintenance. The last mascara I wanted to update you guys on is the Hourglass Unlocked Instant Extensions Mascara. So I did use this in a Get Ready With Me. It wasn't a first impressions, but it was still pretty new to me. So at this point, I think I've been using it for a little bit over a month. So the claim behind this one is that it's supposed to make it look like you're wearing eyelash extensions. And I will will say that this does give my lashes a ton of length to the point where it almost does look like I'm wearing eyelash extensions, but in more of a natural way. The only issue for me is that this one doesn't really provide any volume. So even though my lashes are really long, it kind of looks like I still have like 4 or 5 lashes instead of a lot more than I actually do, because again, my natural lashes are really sparse. So I think if you tend to have very short lashes, but you have a lot of lashes, you'll really like this one, because I do think it will lengthen them and just make them look dramatic. It is a tubing mascara, which is interesting. I never thought I would like a tubing mascara, but I like the fact that this one does stay in place so well, and it removes very easily at the end of the night. You don't have to rub your lashes, apply a ton of product. You just take some warm water and the mascara slips right off. So I do think that this is a nice option if you're looking for a smudge-proof, waterproof mascara and length is your #1 goal. I think you'll enjoy this. Now again, it's pretty pricey, but I do think it is a really nice formula. So if you like to splurge on mascara, or you can get this on sale during like a Sephora VIB sale or like a Black Friday sale, I definitely think it's worth checking out, as long as you don't mind spending a little bit more than a drugstore mascara. So let me update you guys on a few eyeshadow palettes. So for the month of September, I decided to go with the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I was kind of going back and forth as to whether or not I should add this one to my collection. I do have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette, and the color stories are very, very similar, but the formulas are a lot different. After purchasing the bronze palette, I think back in July, and falling in love with that formula and getting so much use out of it, that's the one I have on my eyes today, I decided to pick this one up because it's kind of like a cooler toned version of the bronze palette. Now I did just do an entire video comparing the 4 Natasha Denona palettes that I have in my collection. I have all 4 of her medium-sized palettes that retail for $65. Now I know the brand and these palettes are not for everyone, but I know that ever since she's been releasing these medium-sized palettes, a lot more people have been interested in whether or not they should pick one up. So I did kind of share the pros and the cons of each palette as well as alternatives. So if you want to check out that video, I'll link it below. So I did kind of share a review on this one. It comes with 15 different cooler and neutral tone shadows. You get 5 mattes and 10 metallics. Now that is definitely going to be a con for people who tend to prefer more matte shadows in their palettes. I tend to get a very similar base look with the 5 matte shadows, and then, you know, I'll kind of switch it up with one of the metallic shadows all over the lid or mix them together to create some interesting color combinations. But overall, I get a very neutral, cooler toned look when I use this palette, and typically it tends to be a little bit more silvery or gray. You know, that being said, I've been getting so much use out of this. I tend to reach for cooler tones during the fall and the winter, and sometimes it's just nice to have like a staple palette with a bunch of neutral cooler tones and a bunch of neutral warm tones. Now I already have that with the bronze palette as well as a few other palettes in my collection, but this one is just easy to work with, and I think that this palette coordinates very well with itself. Like the shadows in here all go together. So $65 is a high price tag for an eyeshadow palette. Natasha Denona typically does run some sort of Black Friday sale where she offers a discount on her products, so it might be worth looking into the palette then. There might be another Sephora VIB sale right around the corner, but for me, I'm actually okay with the fact that I spent $65 on this and the bronze palette, because I feel like I've been able to get so much use out of them. I like colorful eyeshadow, but I just haven't been using it as much, and I think that I'm willing to spend a little bit more on a neutral palette and something that I know I'll get a lot of use out of, rather than spending more on a colorful palette that I might reach for on occasion. For example, I purchased the Melt Cosmetics Muerte palette last year, and that palette's amazing. The quality's great, but it has a lot of colorful tones in it, and I don't get a ton of use out of it. So if I'm going to pay a little bit more, it's going to be on a palette that, you know, tends to be reached for over and over. So I did do a review on the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes eyeshadow palette. I'll link it below if you guys want to check it out. I think I did 2 different looks in that video, but I just thought I would give you a quick update in case you missed that video. So I did get this palette in the mail as PR, but I decided to try it out and see what it was like, because the actual palette in person looks a lot different than the photos online. I feel like that's typically the case for Urban Decay palettes. Whenever I see the initial photos, I always feel a certain way, and then when I see it in person, I feel a different way, just because I feel like they're not always an accurate representation of the textures, the shadows. So I thought these shadows were going to be glittery shadows, like actual pressed glitters, but they're not. If you guys have tried the ColourPop Super Shock shadows, that's what the 8 shimmers in here feel like. They're maybe a little bit more of like a true powder compared to the Super Shock shadows, which are more of a cream, but they give a very similar look on the eyes. They apply in a very similar way. The shimmers in here are amazing. They're so pretty on the eyes, and they could just transform your look. So whether you're using this palette on its own or using it as an accent palette, I do think that they really add to your look, and they give your eyes such a pretty, kind of like a wet, shimmery look. There are 4 matte shadows in here. Some of them are kind of like satins. I mean, honestly, it's not their best formula. It's very blendable. They're easy to work with, but I almost wish they just did like a completely shimmer palette. I know that like an all shimmer palette isn't going to be popular with a lot of people, but this formula is so different for Urban Decay that I think people would have understood if it was more of an accent palette. So in my review, I said that this palette is really pretty. You can get some really gorgeous looks out of it on its own, or if you mix it with other palettes, but $54 is a pretty high price tag for what you get, especially because you get, you know, 4 okay matte shadows. So if you can get your hands on this for like the $30 price tag, I think it would so be worth the money. I mean, if you like really interesting shimmers, $54 might be worth it to you, but I do feel like you could pick up like a couple of ColourPop Super Shock shadows and save your money rather than running out and buying this. So this is not a new product, but I did get the KKW Beauty Classic Blossom Eyeshadow Palette. This was on sale during Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty. All of the eyeshadow palettes from this brand were 50% off. Yeah, I think they were 50% off. I can't say that I really ever watched any reviews on the brand to know if the eyeshadows were good or not. This was kind of like an impulse purchase, which I don't do that very often, but I thought the colors were really pretty. It comes with a couple of cooler toned neutrals and then also some berry tones as well. And those are the types of shadows that I love to wear. I really like this palette. I think that there are so many pretty shades in here. You can do like a very soft, natural eyeshadow look, or you can do something a little bit more colorful and intense, and it all kind of revolves around this really pretty cooler toned mauve berry color story. You do get 5 mattes, 5 shimmers. Some of the shimmers are more of like a satin, and it's just easy to work with. I feel like the shadows are easy to pair together. You can get a very effortless look using this, or of course you can do something a little bit more dramatic and smoky as well. Now obviously this is no longer on sale during Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty. It retails for $45, but I think that this is the type of palette that would add to your collection if you typically love neutrals, but you do want like a pop of color that's not too colorful. I did get a few products from IT Cosmetics. So I did try a new eye cream. I've actually been using this for about a month. It is the IT Cosmetics Confidence in an Eye Cream. This one is an anti-aging formula. It's supposed to brighten, repair, and transform. So if you guys watch my video, you know that I love the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream. I still like that one, but I just wanted to try out another formula. I'm always looking for like the next best thing. So this was on sale during Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty. Typically it retails for $39. Which I think is the same price as the Banana Bright Eye Cream. So I like that one. It does have a lot of fragrance in it, which I know is not ideal for skincare products, although there's been a lot of debate around fragrance in skincare. I find that it doesn't necessarily irritate my skin, but I think if there is the option to choose something that doesn't have added fragrance, that's going to be more ideal. So this might be more appealing to you because it does not have added fragrance in it. In fact, it doesn't even smell like anything. So like I said, I've been using this one for about a month, morning and night, and I feel like the Banana Bright is maybe a little bit more moisturizing, but I think that this one is more effective. I have noticed that my under eye area is very bright. I don't struggle with super dark circles, but I feel like this one gives like a subtle glow to the point where I don't even wear concealer when I'm doing like everyday makeup. I'll just go in with foundation and make sure to bring it up under my eye, but I don't feel like I have to go in with a separate concealer, and I never really felt like that before. I also feel like my eyes are less puffy, and again, I've been dealing with allergies, so there is some puffiness to them, but they're not as red and puffy in the morning when I wake up. I'm not saying the Banana Bright eye cream ever caused puffiness, but I feel like this cuts down on puffiness. And I don't know, I just like it. I know there's some debate about whether or not an eye cream is a necessary step in a skincare routine because you can technically use a moisturizer to do the same thing, but I always like using a separate eye cream. I notice a big difference when I use one that's effective, and I have to say I'm really enjoying this one. I think this will probably get me through October, maybe into November, but I am planning on purchasing this one or repurchasing it rather than the Banana Bright eye cream. So far so good. I'm really enjoying it. I did grab one of the IT brushes for Ulta. This one is the Airbrush Full Coverage Complexion Brush number 77. So I really like the shape of this brush. The IT brushes for Ulta are really nice. IT Cosmetics makes some of my favorite brushes. Typically, I do kind of prefer more affordable brushes, but if I'm in the mood to splurge, I think that their brushes are a great option. I've had some in my collection for years that perform so well. I love the shape of this brush, and I love it for everyday foundation because, like I said, I haven't been taking the time to always apply a concealer, and this one is kind of angled so I can really get right up under my eye with my foundation and just blend everything else in. So it takes me 2 minutes to do my foundation when I'm doing more of a quick everyday look. Of course, the bristles are really soft, but they're densely packed as well, so I do feel like I get a nice even application. So I can do a quick and easy look, I can build up my foundation and stipple it on for more of a full coverage look, and I just enjoy this brush. But if you are looking for a new foundation brush, I think you'll enjoy this one. Sometimes it's nice to splurge on like a brush that you use every single day, and I always use a brush for foundation. I mean, that being said, there's like an e.l.f. one that I love. I love like their Total Face brush. They also have like a blending brush that's nice. So you don't have to spend a ton of money on brushes, but if you do like the IT brushes for Ulta, this one is a really nice foundation brush. So I recently purchased 2 new lipsticks. I think it's been a while since I've really purchased new lipstick other than like the e.l.f. Sheer Slick lipsticks. Those have kind of been my go-to this year, but I did decide to grab 2 new formulas. So the first one is from Fenty. This is their Slip Shine Sheer Shiny Lipstick, and I got the shade Makeout Break. So I am wearing this today all over my lips. Underneath I have the ColourPop Lippie stick in the shade Girl Gang, but this is a really pretty light shimmery nude. I really like this formula. It's like a gloss lipstick hybrid, so it looks so shiny and glossy and pretty on the lips. It's incredibly comfortable, but as you can tell, like it kind of looks like I have a gloss on. I guess the difference is that this is a little bit thicker, it stays in place a little bit better, it's so comfortable to wear, and I love this shade. Sometimes I'll wear it on its own, but typically I'll kind of use it over a darker lipstick or over a matte lipstick to add some hydration, some shine, so I'm really enjoying this one. Now, it's not like a long-lasting lipstick. I probably wouldn't purchase a super dark shade in this formula because it does kind of slip around, it moves around, sometimes it gets on my teeth. Because this one is a light nude, that's not a big deal. But if I had a really dramatic shade, I might feel differently. So when I originally purchased this, I was kind of nervous that it would be like the same formula as like the e.l.f. Sheer Slick lipsticks, which are obviously a lot more affordable. So I wasn't sure if it was going to be worth the $22 price tag, but I don't know, this is different than the other sheer lipsticks that I've tried. It's a little bit thicker, it stays in place well, and it just adds a ton of shine to the lips. So I'm really happy with this purchase. I mean, I'm not wearing lip products as much as I used to, so unfortunately it hasn't gotten used as much as it typically would, because this isn't a formula that I'm going to wear out if I'm wearing a mask, because it would just get all over the mask. But I do, you know, love wearing lipstick when I'm filming YouTube videos. Sometimes I'll wear it around the house, but I wish that I was able to wear it out more often because I do really love it. So I think this will be one of my go-to formulas from now on. I also picked up the Buxom Full Force lipstick in the shade Goddess. This was on sale during Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty as well. I'm kind of looking for like a new go-to lipstick formula. I love the Too Faced Natural Nudes lipsticks, but they did get discontinued, unfortunately, and mine are still good. I think they'll be good for a little while, but eventually they will expire. So I've kind of been looking for a replacement in the meantime. I think that this formula does come very, very close. It's a little bit more glossy on the lips, a little bit more shiny, and it's also I guess like a little bit more lightweight. So I don't find that I experience the same longevity with this formula, but I do like wearing it. Buxom's lip products are so nice because they make your lips look so smooth. I wouldn't say that I have particularly wrinkly lips or anything like that, but I do think it kind of gives you more of a full appearance when your lips do look very smooth. So I do enjoy this formula. I think it's really nice. Now for $20, I don't know that I would purchase a bunch of additional shades. If I could get it on sale, I think it would be worth grabbing. But again, I'm just not wearing a lot of lipstick these days, so that definitely comes into play as well. The last product I wanted to update you guys on is the CoverFx Monochromatic Bronzer Duo. I did get the lighter option. There are two different duos. I got Sunkissed Bronze. So if you have a deeper skin tone, you'll want to go with the darker option. Although I do feel like this one is maybe a little bit too deep for me. So even if you have a darker skin tone than me, this one could work for you. I'll do some swatches so you guys can get a better idea. I like the fact that this does have a matte side and a shimmer side, so you can use the shades alone, you can mix them together. What's nice about these products is that they're pretty pigmented, so you can get really good color payoff, or of course you can go in with a light hand and kind of sheer them out. This applies really nicely to the skin. If you guys like their blush duos, I definitely think you'll like their bronzer duos. I do think that this is going to be a little bit too dark for me heading into the fall and the winter. During the summer, I had a little bit of a tan. Occasionally, I would use self-tanners, so it did seem to match me a little bit better. But even now that like my tan is really fading, I haven't been using self-tanner, it tends to be just a little bit too dark. So I would say if you have a lighter skin tone than me, you should probably skip over this. And if you have a slightly deeper skin tone than me, the lighter duo would probably still work well for you. But I do like these because it's nice that you can kind of customize your bronzer, whether you're feeling a nice sheen or just a completely matte look. And if you're someone who doesn't feel the need to have a bunch of bronzers in your collection, I think something like this would be the perfect addition for you because it is very customizable. Okay guys, I think that is it for me. I'm kind of like looking around and seeing if there's anything else I want to update you on, but I think that's all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any video requests, any products that you want me to review on my channel over the next few weeks. I would love to know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye.